Hey witches! I thought I would take a moment to share with you some of my favorite books that I read last year. This is not a complete list because I read a lot of ebooks and library books, so this is just the books I have on hand that are physical copies. But I wanted to share them with you because I think they're excellent books, and I kind of suck at getting around to writing book reviews for every single one of the books that I love. So I wanted to do a quick video. You might be seeing reviews of these books coming up within the next few months, but this way you know that they're out there and know that they rock. So I'll go ahead and get started. What I wanted to cover first is the fiction books that I read that I really liked, and I think that they will appeal to your witchy sensibilities because they definitely did mine. The first set is actually a trilogy from one of my favorite authors named Anne Bishop. I love all of her books that I've read so far. I know she has a modern contemporary paranormal series out right now that I have not gotten into yet, so that is a goal of mine this year. But this one is actually, let me backtrack. I got into Anne Bishop when I read her Black Jewels trilogy, and something you should know whenever you read at least the Black Jewels trilogy and these books is that they are very cisgendered, hetero themes. So you're going to see a lot of male-female pairings, a lot of play with that masculine-feminine theme. So not a lot of genderqueer anything going on here. It's the only thing I really would prefer more of, especially with the Black Jewels trilogy. Love those books, but I'm always wondering what would happen if one of the characters was gay, like all the time. So I got these books at a thrift store because I moved from Alaska and gave away most of my books. So finding these there was actually really awesome. These are the Pillars of the World trilogy. I think that's what they're called. Is it the Pillars? Anyway, or it's the House of Gaian trilogy. But anyway, so the first book is The Pillars of the World, Shadows and Light, and then The House of Gaian. If you are into witch hunt themes or fairy themes or fairies and witches at all, this is a really good one. It has like a medieval high fantasy setting, and the entire concept is that witches are actually related to the fae. There are a kind of fae that live here on the earth to keep things in balance, and they've been thrown out of balance, and because of that it gives a foothold to some men who want to wipe out witches with an inquisition in this high fantasy realm. Loved the kind of play on historical, she definitely did her research to write this series. Really a big fan. I think a lot of witches would get into it. I definitely plan on reading it again. Love it. Love the Black Jewels trilogy. If you are looking for something that is high fantasy romance, but again, not LGBTQ, kind of the only downside, definitely give these a shot. But her storytelling is excellent. Her dialogue is hilarious. I'm a fan. Oh, it does get dark, so if you're not into dark, triggering situations, it's not the series for you. Another one I read was The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. I've been wanting to read this for years. Finally grabbed a copy of it, and it did not disappoint at all. I loved the movie. The book's even better. I can't even express all that I love about this book. The only thing that I was really surprised about with the movie and the book as far as differences is the book actually makes some modern references, like the prince is reading a magazine and a few other things, which I thought was really funny. It's jarring, but it's not jarring in a uncomfortable sense. It just kind of makes you giggle and move on. The movie is actually a lot on point with the book. I was really impressed. Like, I'm not looking at the movie now and thinking, gosh, you got it so wrong. I think they got a lot of it right. If you like the movie at all, or if you like high fantasy, The Last Unicorn, definitely a good read. And last is Lev Grossman's The Magicians. I love the series. I had to give the book a try. Did not disappoint either. I may like the series more than the book, which I know is like blasphemy within book circles, but I think that the series gets more in depth with the characters because it has more time, you know. Julie is not really in the book for a huge part of it, and I love her character in the series, so that's probably a big factor of why I like it more. Quentin's still a douche. He doesn't get better. He's even worse in the book, but I think it's realistic. They got a lot right. If you are into occult, paranormal themed contemporary fiction, definitely a good read. I will be writing about this book and the series in the next few days, actually, with the series 3 coming out, so watch out for that on my blog. Love the book, love the series. If you like Witchy series, definitely watch The Magician seasons 1 and 2 are on Netflix for you to binge. Alright, that's it for fiction. Going into nonfiction, I have The Use of Magical Oils in Hoodoo, Prayer, and Spellwork by Gregory White. I met Greg at Aroma Gregory's, which is his shop in Nashville. Love the shop. I may never buy soap anywhere else again. We have become a little addicted to his money drawing soap and his Florida water soap. It's just amazing. I love it. This book is a lot like Scott Cunningham's, what is it called? Incense, Oils, and Brews, I think. But it's a more hoodoo take. A lot of the traditional oil recipes are in here, as well as some traditional color magic with the candles. I like that he has all this in here. If you are into making your own stuff, this is definitely a great book to have. I may never use it though because I just buy his oils now. I did make my own money drawing oil. It worked out wonderfully. This is a self-published book, and I'm all for supporting self-published authors. So if you are looking for a book to kind of supplement your Incense, Herbs, and Oils book by Cunningham, definitely highly recommend this one. He's also an aromatherapist, so he does talk a little bit about the essential oils in this book. He does have a book just on essential oils that you can order through Amazon or stop by Aroma Gregory's in Nashville or through their website, aromagregory.com. Love it. A lot of these books are rereads, but this one is not. This one just came out. Everyday Magic, A Pagan Book of Days, edited by Lucia Starza. I'm in this book, so I'm a little biased, but I think it's an excellent book. If you are into like the Llewellyn almanacs, then I think you'll like this book as well. It goes through all of the months. It has a section for each month, so you can just skip to the month that you are in and to the day. So today is the 3rd, and it's Think More, Act Later. In the Northern Hemisphere, people are just becoming aware of the small growing spark of light of the returning sun. Think about what you would like to grow in your life this year. Is there a personal goal that you would like to accomplish? And it goes on from there. And that was Brendan Howland who wrote that entry. So you have poetry, you have prayers. I know I submitted a prayer too. You have recipes. So like February 28th is an apple wealth cakes recipe. And it's all different traditions. There's people in here that are like me, that are northern pagan or heathen. There's Greco-Roman, there's Druid, there's modern Wiccan, there's all kinds of stuff. So a little bit in here for everybody. I am a huge fan. I will definitely be writing about this in the upcoming weeks. Reread, Money Magic by Frater UD. My favorite book on money magic. It works. If you're going to recommend a practical magic book, it better be one that works. This one works. I've never had any issues with it not working. Now, how well it works depends on me, about my mindset at the time. Fantastic meditations in this book, fantastic practices. pretty much the basis of my money magic practices from this book, as well as a huge chunk of my practice with the god Mercury Hermes. So the biggest thing about this book is it will definitely make you think, because it approaches money magic from the element of air. I can't recommend this book more. I love it so much. I recommend it to almost every witch that I run into that is interested in money magic or prosperity. You need to read this book. I think even if you're making money, you should read that book. And then last but not least is a reread, She Who Changes, Reimagining the Divine in the World by Carol P. Christ. If the biggest takeaway I took from this book this year is that that God or deity is not omnipotent or omniscient. And once you kind of wrap your brain around that, it is much easier to think of deities as being benevolent. Because if they are omnipotent and omniscient, why is our world having horror in it? And she gets really into this whole thought process of dealing with the problems with deity, the problems with religion, that even pagans are bringing over into paganism. We have this monotheist, omniscient, omnipotent God baggage, and then how to change our thinking around that to fit our new theology with an A. I think every pagan should read this book. Even if you don't agree with it, I think it will help you figure out what you do believe in, because it's gonna challenge all of your beliefs. Highly recommend. So that's it for that. Again, it's not a very long list because this is not all that I read, but these are what I have physically. But if you only read a few books out of this thing, Money Magic by Frater UD, She Who Changes by Carol P. Christ, and the of the fiction, probably The Magicians, because I think more people will get more out of it. I love the Anne Bishop series, but I know that my LGBTQ friends are not gonna dig a lot of the themes in it. So it's hit and miss. I really like it, but I see the flaws in it. Or not really the flaws, but that it's not for everybody. I think this is going to appeal more to us millennials and us modern witches. So yeah, go out and grab Everyday Magic. I'm in it. You get to see some of my writing. And thank you all so much for watching. Watch out for my blog on some of these books for reviews, and hope that your pagan library and your witchy library are all the better for them. Thanks for watching. Bye.